Success is not what everybody tells you it is. It's what you tell yourself. I'm Isaac Maring, and I run and own a lawn maintenance business, and I want to make these videos to really share my journey, share my thoughts, and all my knowledge learning experience as much as possible. And I like to keep it raw, very authentic, and I'm liking doing these videos, so hopefully you guys do too. And I just want to spread the word of whatever's in my brain or whatever situation I'm in, to share along the journey, because in 10 years I'm going to look back and see the progress, and I think everybody else will too. So today I want to talk about why, or what is your success? Like, what is it truly to you? And your success really isn't what everybody else thinks it is. It's not what everybody tells you it is. It's not shiny. It's not glamorous all the time. And your success is different than anybody else in the world. You are the only one that will define your own success. You're the only one that has your own success. And and for you, maybe it's not what you've been on the path to. Maybe it's not what people have sold you on already. It might not be, being a big business owner making tons of money. It might not even be a small business owner. It might not be getting into a nursing field, medical field. It might not be being a lawyer. Maybe not even being a tech, in the tech field, whether you're like an engineer, whether you're a mechanic, whether, you're working on homes, in the construction field. It might, it might not even be like working in the seas of the waters and fishing, and it might not even be your profession, actually. Your success might not even be your profession. And I think that's so deep to look into within yourself, is like understanding, like, you could be working a profession that might not actually define your success. And honestly, it might not be a bad thing. I think for me, I like to be good at whatever I'm doing. And I think everybody else should too, because if they like what they do, usually you want to be really good at that thing. And if you're not in that thing, you should probably just focus on doing what you like doing. I mean, it's your life. The only thing you have valuable in this life is your time and where you spend it. So even if it means you're not making as much, even if it means you can't have as much status, you have to figure out the things that you love and the things that will provide you your definition of success. So ask yourself, what defines success for me? And it's not anybody else's success. Your success is not somebody else's or what they want for your success. It's what you want for yourself. But you have to want it. You have to ask yourself what you really want. And I think what a lot of people do is they don't understand what their own success is. So they could be frustrated and tossed around all the time, and they they might not even like what they're doing, and they might be living in somebody else's success. And this can be a very hard position, because maybe you even think your success is somebody else's, which can be part true. You can be totally sacrificing yourself for somebody else to push them, because that's what success means to you. And I also think you should have your own side. Even though that is success to you, is having a partner that wins, pushing your partner to win in certain areas or grow, and you back him or her, right? It's also very important to look on your own side of things. What areas do you want to feel successful for yourself that maybe that partner can back you in? And it has to be that dynamic in a partnership, but it doesn't have to be that, all the time. Like, if you don't have a partnership, you have to understand, like, you could also be defining your success based on what your boss does, based on who you look up to, based on the leaders around you. And you may not need, the highest status. You may not need to be, in a celebrity. You don't need to be very known in the world to consider yourself a success. Some others might, and that's theirs. But it's also very important to know that you could also love what you do in your profession, but that might not be where you define your success. Because in fact, it could actually be outside of it. And maybe your profession helps build your success and it helps build the other things around it, but the profession itself might not be your success. And it can be a very large combination of things, but I think it can narrow down to just a few things if you looked at it, where you could probably pick 3 to 4 things that if you said these were on top, these were excelled in every way, I would be successful. But in, but for these combination of things to be excelled, for them to be fulfilled, I need to work in other areas that builds them. And you have to ask yourself the first question of what does success mean to me to be able to figure out those. But like once you figure them out, you know what you do every day provides to it. You know if you're not doing what you need to do today, you should switch it up immediately. You shouldn't even wait. Because anything you delay is just delaying your own success for your life, right? We only have a limited amount of time. So if you decide you need to totally switch things up, do it now. And if you understand that maybe what you're doing isn't the best use of building your success, but maybe it's your best use of time right now in your current moment that attributes to it, it might be okay to stay in there for a little bit while longer, but you know that you have to get to somewhere else. Like this isn't your forever thing. And you may never have a forever thing. It may be jumping around that creates your success. It may be enjoying the fun parts of life. It may be just being very simple. It may be pushing through the storms, pushing as hard as possible in every way. And no one can ever really define that for you. No one can help you figure out what that is. And there's always a piece of it that's always different than anybody else. So you're going to be always the best one for yourself to help advise what your success is and what you're doing to achieve it. Because everybody else is different. And I wouldn't think we would be in a nice world, in a fun world, in a challenging world, if more than, if a multiple people had the same exact success with no differences, if people were just the exact same. And that, it wouldn't really benefit society as a whole because we all need to be different. We need to think differently. We need to focus on something differently. We need to be better at certain things. And even though you might be good at certain things, actually, even though you might have higher skills in certain areas, it doesn't mean that's what you have to do. Because maybe that's not what success means to you. And instead of always looking at what the world around you defines it, it's really not just money. Even though I'm very money motivated focused because as a business, that's how I attract the scale of things. But it's not always a direct correlation to building the good thing. It's just one piece of it. And so part of my success is tracking the value of monetary, the money. But if I had that alone, I would not consider myself successful. Like if I only had money in life, but nothing else, I would still think I'm a failure. Because it's a combination of everything else in life. It's a combination of these few things that you really, really desire and care about that build into this one word of success. And not everybody is going to support your one word of success. So that's why you can never go based off of what other people's success is. And you have to challenge yourself to really look deep, really, really tear it out, really rip off that band-aid, because you might find some truths within yourself that you don't like, because you're going to have to make changes that are big right now in the moment. You might have to realize you're completely going the wrong direction. You have to really just turn it around and figure out which direction creates every little bit of what you need to do. And you just need to live by it every day. And to me, that's what it is. If I can truly live by my values every day, truly give it my all every day, and I'm on the direction towards accomplishing my goals, I'm successful. Like, I consider myself successful because every day I'm living within my values and living towards my goals. And because that benchmark is always going to be raised, if I'm always thinking my success is at a certain threshold, then I'll never think I'm successful. I'll never think I've made it. I'll never think that I'm doing good. Which is true. I think, frankly, a lot of times I'm going to always say I'm never doing good. I'm never enough, because that bar is always being raised. Because to my past self, I am enough. To my future self, I am not. And you have to almost embody the fact that every day you're doing what you were set out to do for yourself. And that's what you have to respect about yourself. No matter how many failures you had in the day, no matter how much stress you have, no matter how many struggles you have, you know it is the path, and you know that it's defining what success means to you. And sometimes you can't always let others, and you can't always let others try to define it for you. But you also have to understand, if you don't even have it defined for yourself, everybody else will try to help define it for you. And it doesn't always mean that they're terrible people because they don't know what you want, but you don't even know what you want. You haven't defined it. You haven't shared it. If you want others around you to understand what success means to you, you have to find it within yourself and share it. You can't just assume everybody will know, because those around you will want to help you and support you, but they might just be supporting you in the wrong ways. Because to you, they might be supporting you to actually go the other direction. And that's very negative. But if you also don't know what it is for you, you can't be totally mad at them, because, well, you're not even in the right direction. So you have to find it for yourself. You have to lead yourself. And ask the question over and over, and ask it deeper and deeper. If, whatever comes into your head when I ask, what does success mean to you? You'll probably spit off something along the lines that is very surface level. Oh, well, I want to make a lot of money and have a house. Really? What if you had all that? Or you might say something like, well, I just want a family. Okay, have a family. What about the family around you? You just want kids? Okay, then just have kids. Then what? Like, what does that mean? Are you completely out and done once you have kids? Or is it something more than that? And what's going to help you get there? Like, what's going to help create that? So get deeper than the surface level answer. Because probably already know the surface level. It's your dream. It's your shiny thing that you just tell everybody, or you think for yourself. You're like, yes, I want the car. I want a house. I want the family. I want to settle down here. I want the land. I want a big penthouse. I want this. I want a big farm. I want to have my own farmland. I want all these animals. I want to just do. I want to do good in my work. I want to be. I just want to get this license. I want to get this job. I want to get this career. But then put yourself in the position that you already have it. What then? Because if you spend your whole life just trying to work towards it, and then maybe at like when you retire, then you get all this stuff, you never really enjoyed all of it. And if that was success to you, you're saying you lived unsuccessfully your entire life until the end, or maybe not at all. But say you've already gotten that today. What is then success after that? Because if you just gotten out of that, all of it, what are you going to do now? What are you working towards? And maybe you're not really working towards that next big thing. You're not keeping up with the Joneses. You got what you have, and you're happy with what you have. But now what does everyday success mean to you? And sometimes, or not sometimes, most of the time, everybody just looks at the shiny thing. Just looks at the glamorous, the dream, which is very important because you should have that dream. But does that dream embody the success that you want? For real. When you ask yourself, you get that answer, you want the house. Why? Why do you want the house? What are you going to do with it? Why do you want to live in that area? Why do you need that land? Okay, but like once you get sick of it and once you get bored and it becomes normalized, what are you doing? What are you working towards? Are you down and out? Is everything done? What if you never get that? And you just have to ask these questions repeatedly until you can figure out. I truly think it comes down to just your values. You can live within your values every day. And then you have your targets. And that threshold is always going to be raised. Every single time. But as long as you live with your values, and maybe you have these 3 or 4 categories that you really want to excel in, that you want to put your all in, figure out what it is that helps build those. It may not be directly, but sometimes you can have indirect things. Like your profession, like I said, is not maybe your success, but maybe your profession builds a category that builds your success. And I think a lot of people live that way. I think my profession is almost more higher up in my success. I think my work is like my life. It's like what I enjoy. It's what I want to get better at. Not everybody lives like that. Sometimes it's just they truly just enjoy. They have fun. They go in, they work for the day, and they get out. And sometimes there's a lot of days where it's just like, yeah, I don't want to be here, but I'm here because it's going to help my success in other areas. And so that I can, I can go hit the slopes later today. I can go to the beach. I can do this. I can do that. And that's where, that's what might fuel you. That might be like the simple things that are just fun for you, that you could just do those. And a combination of things, right? Like if you just spent your time at the beach the entire time of your life, you're going to get bored. I mean, go spend every day at the beach. Like go on a vacation. If you think you can't, if you have to retire before you go on the beach, just try it right now. I'm sure you could easily find some way to go to the beach and see how long you last before you get sick of it. Because it's never one thing that can fill our success. it's a multiple of things. And I don't think just going to the beach or just having the fun builds the success. I think those are the cherries on top. Those are the little extras that we are allowed to do because we live fully in alignment with ourselves. But you have to know it for yourself. To be able to surround yourself with people that actually know it for you and to tell them what it is. And just live by it every day. So go define your success. It might not be money. It might not be power. It might not be status. It might not even be family. You might not want kids ever. That's not a success to you. It's all defined by you. And once you define it for yourself, just stay in alignment with it. No matter what anybody else says. Just stay in alignment with it. And find those that will support you. And not even just support you. Find those that will help build it for you. Right? Like, they're actively surrounded in your life where they build their success, and them building their success helps build your success, so that you can hang around people that just, it's like a massive power dynamic where everybody's success builds each other. But you gotta define it. So go define your success.